Brace yourself for an epic showdown as the Saints march into Dallas. Both teams taking big wins in Week 1. Can New Orleans spoil the Cowboys' home opener and send a message around the league? The Saints offense is ready to light up that obnoxiously big scoreboard. For the defense, it's lunchtime. Here's to Week 2. Welcome to Saints Game Day Live right here on NewOrleansSaints.com. I'm Erin Summers. We are gearing up for a 12 o'clock kick, Saints at Cowboys. You can watch it on Fox and, of course, follow along with us at Saints on X. Before we get into anything else, let's go ahead and send it to Dallas, AT&T Stadium, where our senior Saints writer, John DeShazer, is.
As you mentioned, I am at AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, Texas, where the Saints will take on the Cowboys today. And definitely for the Saints, this is a step up in weight class. This is not the Carolina Panthers, whom the Saints beat 47-10 in the season opener last week at the Superdome. This is the Cowboys, who have won 12 games in each of the previous 3 seasons. So this is a formidable challenge for the Saints today. And we begin with quarterback Dak Prescott. He's not just the highest paid player in the NFL, an extremely productive player. He's been in 3 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro also. He leads one of the NFL's best offenses. Only had 179 yards and a touchdown in the opening win against Cleveland. But last year, when he finished second in the league in the MVP voting, he threw for 4,516 yards, 36 touchdowns with 9 interceptions. His favorite target, receiver C.D. Lamb, who last year had 135 catches, 1,749 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Those catches and yards were a franchise single-season record. Now, as good as that Dallas offense is, the defense might be even better at times. That defense totaled 46 sacks last season, had 6 sacks and 25 quarterback hurries in the season opener against Cleveland. It begins up front with linebacker Micah Parsons, who had a sack and 9 hurries in the opener. He finished second in 2022 and third in 2023 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He had 14 sacks and 33 quarterback hits last season. He's paired with defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, who had 2 sacks and 8 hurries against Cleveland, and he gives the Cowboys that 1-2 punch that you really want to see if you're a team that rushes the passer the way the Dallas Cowboys do. And also, you can't mention Dallas without mentioning the special teams. Cavante Turpin averaged 29 yards per kickoff return last year and averaged 19 yards on 5 punt returns against Cleveland last Sunday. And oh, by the way, kicker Brandon Aubrey, a sensation as a rookie, making 36 of 38 field goal attempts. He made all 4 attempts in the opener, and if it comes down to it, Dallas feels real comfortable with their kicker. He's capable of kicking them for as far as 65 yards, and if it comes down to it, Dallas does not have a problem putting him on the field in that situation. With that here, that's it from here at AT&T Stadium. Back to you, Erin. Well, good morning, Erin.
Thanks, JD. The Saints offense under new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak couldn't have gotten off to a better start in Week 1. 47 points. The Saints, they scored on 9 straight possessions. Today against the Cowboys will be a little taller task. The Cowboys defensively had a league-leading 6 sacks and 25 pressures in Week 1 against Cleveland. Success for the Saints starts up front. That offensive line has to work as a cohesive unit, which will be a little bit more difficult as left tackle Taliese Fuaga has been dealing with a back injury all week. Fuaga is active today. However, he did miss Thursday and Friday's practice with that back injury. That unit has to ramp up communication in order to make sure that they are protecting quarterback Derek Carr. In order to help take some of the pressure off of Carr, got to establish that run game. Last week, Alvin Kamara ran for 83 yards. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. That type of production in your run game will make sure that the Saints don't have to rely on big pass plays and third downs. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak has done a really good job of putting these Saints players in positions to be successful and to make plays. We'll see how he draws this one up today. Let's hear from head coach Dennis Allen, who John DeShazer was able to catch up with earlier this week.
Coach, coming off a 47-10 win opening game, how was practice, the mood this week? I know sometimes you have to kind of tamp a team down, but how was the mood of practice?
I think very much like it was like it's been since we started back in the spring. I think our guys are focused on the things that we need to do to have a chance to have success against Dallas. I don't think anybody's thinking about anything that's happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future. I think our guys are grounded and focused on the task at hand.
Now, when you score on 9 consecutive offensive possessions, what does that say about the adaptation to the team, to what they've been coached to do and what they're trying to accomplish?
Well, it says that we got a good scheme, the guys have been coached really well, and that our guys are going out and executing, and they're believing in the things that we're preaching, and that's how you have success. And so you have to believe in the message before you'll go out there and try to execute it, and I think that's what our guys are doing.
Now, having said that, Dallas comes in with a defense, 46 sacks last year, 6 sacks in the opener, a ton of pressures, 25 pressures, I think, in the opener. But just what do you see from them defensively?
Yeah, I see a really athletic, fast football team. They play aggressive. They get teams into a drop back mode, and they want to bring their pass rush after the passer, which then leads to, interceptions and fumbles in the pocket and things like that. So I think the big thing for us is we can't get into that game. We can't get into one of these games where, we got to try to drop back and pass it 40 times. We got to be able to have some balance in the, on our offense.
Now we flip it. Dallas's offense is a pretty efficient offense, especially at quarterback and at receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Just what do you see from them offensively?
Yeah, I see a good team. I see an explosive team. I think they got some weapons on offense. The quarterback's playing outstanding. CeeDee Lamb's a heck of a receiver. Brandon Cooks, obviously we know him. He's got a lot of speed to get down the field. So they present a lot of challenges for us defensively. And look, we're looking forward to this opportunity.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Since 2023, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and the Saints defense have ranked top 5 in the league in completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, and quarterback passer rating. This one is going to be a tough matchup. Quarterback Dak Prescott does a phenomenal job finding his different receivers. The Saints have to make sure that they're not setting him up for big pass plays. They got to stop that run and make sure that they're keeping him in the pocket. Then, when they have him on the ropes, you got to send that pressure and look to capitalize on any mistake possible. It is going to take the entire Saints defense to be on their toes, make sure that they're know what they're supposed to be doing in coverage and ready to jump on any of those mistakes. One position to look at in this one is cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore is out. It means rookie cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry is in. No doubt the Cowboys will attack McKinstry. They will send wide receiver CeeDee Lamb in his direction. It's Prescott's #1 target, his favorite person to go to, and one of the best receivers in the entire league. Kool-Aid has to make sure that he is firm and tight in his techniques. He stays in coverage, and then he just trusts his instincts. He is definitely somebody who comes in confident. He's not afraid of the moment. This will be a big test for him. However, the Cowboys do move Lamb around a lot. He actually does play mostly in the slot. So cornerback Alontae Taylor also needs to be aware of where number 88 is pre-snap. I had a chance to catch up with one of our safeties, Will Harris, who had a big interception in last week's game. In this week's What's Brewing. Welcome to What's Brewing with safety Will Harris. I'm Erin Summers. This is presented by Community Coffee. First game in the Superdome as a Saint. You have an awesome start to the game. The Saints win big. The atmosphere is crazy. How good was it to be on that side of it?
It was amazing. It was electric, first of all, just to be able to, see the offense take the field and open the game up, blow the game wide open, with a deep ball to Sheed. Was amazing, gave the defense a lot of juice. Then we went out there and, just tried to execute as best as possible. And, you got to take advantage of the ones that come to you. And, was lucky enough to get that done. And, the whole stadium went crazy. And the defense, the whole team kind of just fed off of, those 2 opening drives for the rest of the game. So that was pretty cool.
What did you see on that play when you picked off Bryce Young for the first offensive possession by the Panthers?
I was just playing in the middle of the field, and sometimes, when you just guess you're in the right place at the right time, and the ball kind of sailed a little bit, and I was able to get under it, and hit the ground for a second, and tried to get up and get as many yards as I could for our offense.
You said that your family's from Mississippi. You have a lot of Saints fans in the fam. When you signed here, you told me you had 200 unread text messages.
Yep.
What was the response like after your first game and that interception?
A lot of the same. It was crazy, man. I do have a lot of support here from my father's side of the family. A lot of family tuning in. Uncles, aunties, cousins. Tuning in from all around. All down the Gulf Coast. So it was great. And can't wait to get a lot of them to the game.
Outside of football, you were eating Dragos like every day when you first got here. You said you love seafood. Mm-hmm. Where are we eating at now? You found a new spot, or are you still there?
Oh yeah. So first of all, I'm definitely still at Dragos for sure. And I've been getting some messages or whatever on social media of some places that I need to try, and so or some restaurant owners kind of around town. So I got to make my way. I got to keep making my way around town. I really just come in, do my thing here, and kind of just head home. But at some point, I'm definitely going to have to get around a little more to expand.
Yeah.
There's so much good food in the city, and so the goal is at some point to hit everything. So
I don't know if anybody has ever hit anything, but you keep me posted on that. It has been so awesome talking to you. Congrats on a first game with the Saints. This has been What's Brewing with Will Harris.
Thank you so much.
The Saints had a complete game in all three phases last week against the Panthers, and part of it was due to Blake Grupe. The second-year kicker went 9 for 9. He hit 4 field goals with his career-long a 57-yarder. Talking to Grupe earlier this week, he said that he is so much more comfortable in his routine this season, and for him, it's about working on his consistency. It is going to be something that we're going to need from him in this one. The Cowboys put up 35 points a game on average, so every point is going to count. And as for that new kickoff rule, it's been pretty interesting. In week 1, they had 58 returns, which is vastly higher than we have seen in previous weeks. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays into this one as well. We're looking at Kavontae Turpin for the Cowboys and our kick returner, Rashid Shaheed. Let's take a look at inactives before we close this thing out. We mentioned earlier, cornerback Marshawn Lattimore is out for the Saints. Wide receiver A.T. Perry is a healthy scratch. And then it looks like quarterback Spencer Rattler will be your emergency third quarterback. So Jake Haener getting the backup nod today. As for the Cowboys, tight end Jake Ferguson is out. He has been somebody that's been questionable all week with a knee injury. That is big news. Ferguson had 73 receptions last year for 761 yards. He is a favorite target for Dak Prescott. Hopefully that bodes well in the Saints' favor. It all goes down at 12 o'clock, so make sure you get your refreshments, any other drinks you need, and sit down, settle in your black and gold, because this is definitely going to be a show. Saints at Cowboys, 12 o'clock. For John DeShazer, I'm Erin Summers. You can watch this one on Fox, and we'll be right here on NewOrleansSaints.com after the game for our post-game show.